So let's see what happens when we run this. I've put some breakpoints within the loops, and then I'll run the application and we'll step through and actually see it running in practice. So I start this, you can see the first thing that's happened is it's flowed through the setup and we're waiting on a message here. I can look at the value and it's sending the initialize message. So part of the starting the framework initializes, actually initializes the framework. It steps through this. Well, I'll step into it actually. Once initialize, we're clearing the running LED and the error, and we're enqueuing a message refresh. Now let's step into that one there. So the refresh here, what we're doing is finding all the resources on the system to populate the combo boxes. There's one here, one off the screen. And you can see that that's popped up here. And now we're waiting. Nothing's happening at the moment. So let's press the Get ID button. And you'll see we've got an event picked up here. Not executed yet. But we're going to enqueue the action 1. And here we've got a message come through. And we're in action 1. So here what we're going to do is prep the interaction and then run it. You can see the way this jumps around. It gives you a view, an idea of how parallel the execution process actually is. Let's get the ID. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. I pressed the wrong one. So what we're doing is we're mapping to the driver. We've got an instrument name, Pico PST. And we're going to get all the instruments. And you can see we've got an array here of all the potential instruments that I can have on the machine. And now we're going to go through and match that to try and find it. And what we should come out with is the Pico PSC. I won't run into that. Here we've found the Pico. So we've got our driver. Just confirm that. The Pico. And we're going to save this now against the Scuppy command here. And the Scuppy command RST. Get the ID. If that's actually run yet, see if we've got it. It's not executed yet. And we're going to add that command to the command director. And again, so that would be the second command. And if I was to look at this, I would hopefully see that we've got the RST command. The RST command. Oh yes, because we're in the commands here. Sorry, I was clicking the wrong one. And the IDN command. Yep. And here's our unique ID that was generated by the framework. Unfortunately, I stepped over that interaction there. We'll try this again and we'll run it through it quickly and show you exactly what's going on here. But now we're waiting on a notification because the command has been run, and we've got this read command, and you can see that the session was for the Pico PST. And we've got here's our result, our raw result down here. You see how it jumps around. And so now what we're doing here down in the results handling loop is just comparing the IDs to see what we need to do with the result itself. That one didn't do anything, this one didn't do anything. We're now doing this comparison here. We're passing the ID from the result and storing it into the instrument ID here. And there we go. And so that's run through there now. If I continue that, nothing is actually happening yet. I can stop this and you'll see that it's registered the button press. We're going to stop, raise the stop event. And here's the event we were registered to listen to, and we're picking up here, and what we're going to do is put a stop message on the queue. I think what we're going to find here is that we've timed out through the stepping through it. We've actually timed out here. So let me play that to the end. And we've got our error. So what I'll do is I'll run that again, and this time I'll take off the breakpoints here. I'll leave it on here, and I'll leave it on here. And we've seen the notification, so I'll take it off there so we don't pause unnecessarily. And what I'm looking for is to go into the get ID. In fact, actually, I will take it off here because we know we've seen that happen. So let's run this again. Okay, so we are waiting on initialize. Step over that. We're doing a refresh message. Step over that one. And now it's waiting. I'll press get ID. We're running that through now. So that's going to put action 1 on the message queue there. And we're into the prepping, which I'll skip over. We saw that get put in the commands in the command director. And now we're here in this, we're setting the running light on, which is here, and we're going to run the interaction. So let's step into that. And here we go. So we've got our interaction process. We've got an array of command directors. And are we handling injection? Well, we know that's false. So when we come out of here, we should have the command directors that we're interested in. It's got an RST command and an IDN command. And now we're going to process those directors, so let's step into there. Right, wrong one. Get our message queues, clear the internal queue, and that's processing the event loop, which we've seen. I'm particularly interested in the main processing loop, so I'll skip over that and we'll jump into this one. Let's see what message we've first got on the queue. To initialize, so we're going to initialize the directors. Skip over. Our next command, the next state is process. So we'll step into that. The next state it's going to process is to continue. So when it's finished processing, it will continue. I'm going to get the command directors, and for each one of those, ask whether it should continue or not. And it's true because we've not actually done anything yet. Now it's checking to see if it's the last command director and whether it should be waiting or not. We haven't passed any wait time in anyway. And now we're going to process the commands. So we'll step into that and have a look. Right. We'll extract commands and the wait time for that. Step into that. So we should have a command here. It's not executed that bit yet. And let's step into process. Step in there. So our write command is RST. Our pre-exec callouts, we don't do anything here, I'll just skip over it. We get the values that we need to actually process that command. There aren't any driver settings, so I won't go into there. We initialize the driver and we commit any driver settings that we should have added and save the driver back to the write command. And now we're actually taking a copy of the write command and downcast or upcasting it into an executable. The executable allows the driver to talk to the command and get the command string that it needs. So we're prepared to execute. Come back out of there. And we're going to execute the write query. Let's get into there. We're getting the attributes that we need, so can overlap a block on wait timeout to determine how to actually manage that command. And the visa session, it'll open a new one if it needs to. And in this case, the can overlap is true, we don't need to wait. I'm going to build command, and this is where we're actually getting the the actual command to send to the instrument. So if I step over that and we have a look at the command that's come out, it's not giving us that yet. So looking at the command as it's come out, there were nothing to add here, no parameters to add, so it's come straight out, and we've got RST here. So we've built the command, and that command, as we've seen, is RST with the character return on it, and this is going to write it to the instrument, the Pico. And then, having done that, we can write any specific code for that command. We run any specific code for that command. We're saving our command as we ran because it might have changed. We need to build those changes up so we can write it back to the command director. And now we're processing the second command here, so let's go back in, because this will be a read command, as you can see here. See if we've got that there. So it's an IDN command. Prepare to execute we've seen, and well, let's go into this one, write the read-write query this time. Get some attributes to actually control the visa write, the visa read I should say, sorry. We've seen executing the write query. So we're writing a query to the visa session, and now we're going to read a result from it. And hopefully we might see the result, so Pico, and that parse result is going to go through pulling the results out for each parameter as well as the actual command itself. There aren't any parameters in this case. So the result is solely for the command, so we're passing it straight out, and we're not passing anything. We're passing an empty array out for the parameters. And for the command raw result, it should be what we expected, as we've already seen. And that's running through that command there, and we've finished that. We've got a raw result on the, we're going to read the raw result off the read command, and parameter values, and now we're going to post the result. Now in this case it will depend on whether we've passed a notifier in, exactly what's going to happen. So it's now checking to see if anything's waiting. And something is waiting, so the number of waiters is not equal to 0, so we're going to raise that notification now, and that will allow us to process the result, which is occurring here. I'll step over that because we've seen that. Should, if we're lucky, see the answer in the indicator here. And we're back waiting for any other notification that occurs. And now it's all waiting for something else to happen, and this is where we click in the stop, raising the stop event. And having stopped this loop here, we are starting to tidy up. So hopefully that will have been of some use to see exactly how we step through and actually run through the interaction processor in with actually running the example, as opposed to just sort of talking about it.